Hello everyone, my name is Vaishali Kaur and I welcome you back to my channel. In this video, I'll be discussing a chapter of class 10. This chapter is there in all the prescribed books, the books that have been prescribed by ICSE board. The name of the chapter is Climate of India. Now before starting with the discussion of the chapter, let me tell you some points that you should remember. Firstly, after reading this chapter, you would be able to develop concepts regarding the climate of India, why climate varies from one place to another place, what are the different factors which affect the climate of a particular place, then the different seasons that are experienced by India, why do they occur, and you should also be able to interpret the climatic data. Secondly, this chapter is a huge one, so I have divided this chapter into 3 parts, and I will be teaching the 3 parts of this chapter in 3 separate videos. Okay, so that's it. Without any further delay, let us start with the discussion of the chapter. Okay, so starting with the first part of the chapter, Climate of India. Here in this part, I'll be discussing the differences between weather and climate. Now, I know this that you already read the differences between weather and climate in lower classes, but I will still be discussing the differences in this video because I want you to clear your concept. Okay, so for that reason, I will again discuss the differences between weather and climate. I will also be discussing the factors that affect the climate of a particular country or a particular place, the factors which determine the climate of India. There are a number of factors which affect the climate of India. We will be discussing them one by one. And I will also tell you the meaning of the word monsoon and what the climate of India is known as. So all these things we will be discussing in this video. So let's start. What is the difference between weather and climate? Weather is what conditions of the atmosphere are over a short period of time. On the other hand, climate is how the atmosphere behaves over relatively long periods of time. So weather is the atmospheric condition which is taken into consideration over a short period of time. So these are the key words. On the other hand, climate is the atmospheric condition which is taken into consideration over relatively long periods of time. Weather is the daily atmospheric condition of a specific place. So weather is the daily atmospheric condition. Okay. On the other hand, climate is the record of the condition of the atmospheric elements of above 30 years. So climate is the condition of the atmosphere which is taken into consideration for about 30 years. So this is the first point of difference. The next point is that what are the factors which determine the weather of a place? The factors which determine the weather of a place are brightness of the sun. Okay, let me zoom in first, then you would be able to see it clearly. Okay, now see the brightness of the sun, wind, visibility, cloudiness, humidity, temperature. So these are the factors which measure the weather of a particular day and time. On the other hand, the factors or the atmospheric elements which determine the climate of a particular place are temperature, solar radiation, precipitation, wind, humidity, and atmospheric pressure. Okay. So this is the second point of difference. The third point of difference is that weather denotes the atmospheric condition over a small area. Okay. On the other hand, climate records the condition of the atmospheric elements over a large area. Okay, so weather weather denotes the atmospheric condition over a small area, whereas climate denotes the atmospheric condition over a large area. So these are the differences between weather and climate. Weather refers to atmospheric condition which is taken into consideration over a short period of time. Climate on the other hand is the atmospheric condition which is taken over relatively long periods of time. The time duration is 30 years, so the atmospheric condition of a particular place or of a country is observed for 30 years, and then the climate of that place is said to be something. Okay, next, the factors which determine the weather of a place are brightness of the sun, wind, visibility, cloudiness, humidity, temperature. Okay, whereas the climate of a place is determined by different factors such as temperature, solar radiation, precipitation, wind, humidity, and atmospheric pressure. And the last point is that weather refers to the atmospheric condition of a small area. On the other hand, climate takes into account the condition of the atmosphere over a large area. So that's it. Now move on to the second point. Here we will see what are the factors which determine the climate of a place or of a country. So the main factors which determine the climate of a country or a place are temperature condition, rainfall, atmospheric pressure, direction of winds. Okay, now let us see the factors which determine the climate of India. See, we live in India, so we should know what are the factors which determine the climate of India. Right, so the first factor which determines the climate of India is location. India is located in northern hemisphere, and the important latitude Tropic of Cancer has divided India into two equal halves. The part which lies above Tropic of Cancer, that part experience temperate climate. Okay, and the part which is there below the Tropic of Cancer, that part experience tropical climate. The next factor which determines the climate of India is distance from the sea. If you see the map of India, you will find the northern part of India to be far away from the sea. The northern part is also occupied by mountains. On the other hand, the southern part of India is surrounded by seas and oceans. So, the northern part which lies far away from the sea, that part experiences extreme or continental type of climate. On the other hand, the southern part which lies near the sea comes under the influence of land and sea breeze, and for that reason it experiences moderate or equable climate. Okay, now what is extreme or continental type of climate and what is this moderate and equable climate? Extreme or continental type of climate is characterized by very hot summers and too cold winters. Okay, whereas moderate or equable climate is characterized by moderate temperature conditions both in summer as well as in winter. The summers are not too hot and the winters are not too cold. So now you see the map of India. It is given over here, and see the northern part which lies above the Tropic of Cancer. This part of India experience extreme or continental type of climate. Okay, now do not include Pakistan and China as well as Bhutan and Nepal, because these countries are not part of India. Okay, so exclude those countries and consider only the parts which are there inside the map of India. Okay, So see the northern part of India, which lies above Tropic of Cancer, that particular part experience extreme or continental type of climate. Why? Because this part is situated far away from the sea, okay, and it is also surrounded, or it is also occupied, this part is also occupied by mountains. Okay, here Himalaya mountain is present, so for that reason it has been said that northern part is also occupied by mountains and is far away from the sea and oceans. So the climate of this part is called extreme type of climate or continental type of climate, and it is characterized by very hot summers and too cold winters. Now see the southern part of India. The southern part of India, this part is near the seas and oceans. Here Indian Ocean is also there. So this part is near the seas and ocean. Okay, so since this part is near the seas and ocean, so this part comes under the influence of land and sea breeze. Okay, and for that reason this part experiences moderate climate or equable climate. Now moderate climate or equable climate is characterized by moderate temperature conditions, where the summers are not too hot and the winters are not too cold. I hope you have understood the difference between extreme type of climate and moderate type of climate, and why the northern part of India experiences extreme type of climate and why the southern part of India experiences moderate type of climate. Just now I told you about land breeze and sea breeze, right? So can you tell me what is land breeze and what is sea breeze? You have already read about land breeze and sea breeze in lower classes. So can you tell me the difference between land breeze and sea breeze? Okay, now land breeze is the wind that blows from land to sea, and sea breeze is the wind that blows from sea to land. Okay, sea breeze is the wind that blows from sea to land, and since it blows from sea to land, so this wind carries moisture. On the other hand, land breeze is the wind that blows from land to sea, so it is a dry wind, okay, and it does not carry moisture. Two pictures showing the mechanism of sea breeze and land breeze. The first picture is showing the mechanism of sea breeze and the second picture is showing the mechanism of land breeze. Now please see the first picture. In the first picture you can see that daytime is shown, and during the daytime land gets heated up faster than the sea. This is because sea has high heat capacity. For that reason it takes time to get heated up. Land gets heated up faster, so the air above the land also get heated up faster. Now hot air has the tendency to rise upward. On the other hand, the sea takes time to get heated up. For that reason, the air above the sea remains comparatively cooler, and cool air has the tendency to sink downward. As the air has risen up above the land, so in order to take its place, the cool air which is there above the sea comes and takes the place of this air. Okay, so the cool breeze from the sea comes towards the land. This is called sea breeze. Sea breeze blows during the daytime, and the warm air which rises up above the land, that air goes and takes the place of cold air over the sea. Okay, now you see the second picture. The second picture is showing night time. Okay, during night time the land gets cooled down faster than the sea, than the adjoining sea. Why? This is because sea has high heating capacity, so it takes time to get cooled down. It takes time to get heated up, it also takes time to get cooled down. Okay, so as the land cools down faster than the sea at night, so the air above the land sinks downward. On the other hand, the sea is warmer, so the air above the sea is also warm and it rises upward. The cool air above the land comes and takes the place of the air which was there above the sea, because that air has moved upwards. Okay, so this movement of cool breeze from land to sea at night is known as land breeze. The warm air, on the other hand, also moves towards the land to take the place of the cold air. So this is the mechanism of land breeze and sea breeze. I hope you have understood the mechanism of both land breeze and sea breeze. One point I forgot to tell you while discussing the first factor that determines the climate of India. So let us discuss that thing. See, the Tropic of Cancer divides India into two parts. Okay, the upper part of India, which lies above Tropic of Cancer, falls in temperate zone, and that is the reason why the upper part experiences temperate climate. Okay, and the lower part of India, or the southern part of India, which lies below Tropic of Cancer, that part falls in tropical zone, and that is the reason why that part experiences tropical climate. Okay, please see the picture that I have given over here. This picture shows the three climatic zones of the earth. The earth has been divided into different climatic zones on the basis of the amount of heat received by different parts of the earth. The three climatic zones are torrid zone, temperate zone and frigid zone. Torrid zone, temperate zone and frigid zone are present in the northern hemisphere as well as in the southern hemisphere. Okay, now if you see the picture, then you can find over here our country India. Now see the position of our country India on earth. You can clearly see that the latitude Tropic of Cancer is passing through the middle of our country. Okay, and as it is passing through the middle of our country, the northern part has been placed in the temperate zone and the southern part has been placed in the tropical zone. Okay, so I hope now it is clear to you why the northern part of India falls under temperate zone and why the southern part of India falls under tropical zone. The next feature which determines the climate of India is relief features. Relief features means landscape features, and in India we have so many landscape features such as mountains, plateaus, plains, and all these landscape features, they help in determining the climate of India. For example, the Great Himalayan Range acts as a barrier to the bitter cold winds from Siberia and obstructs it from entering the Indian subcontinent. So a cold bitter wind comes from Siberia and it tries to enter the India. Okay, but it is being obstructed, the cold wind is being obstructed by the Great Himalayan Range. So the cold wind do not enter India because the cold wind is being obstructed by the Great Himalayan Range. Okay, next The Great Himalayan Range also intercepts the rain-bearing southwest monsoon winds, resulting in heavy rainfall in the northeast and Indo-Gangetic Plain. So it also acts as a barrier to the rain-bearing southwest monsoon wind. Now, southwest monsoon wind is that wind which carries moisture, and this wind, as it strikes the wall of the Himalayan mountain range, it causes heavy rainfall. Okay, as it strikes the mountain wall, it causes heavy rainfall, and the rainfall occurs in the northeast and Indo-Gangetic Plain due to the presence of the Great Himalayan mountain range. Okay, so Great Himalayan mountain range also helps in causing rainfall from the southwest monsoon winds by acting as an obstruction. Okay, next point, you can see the Western Ghat also does the same thing. The Western Ghats also intercept the southwest monsoon winds, causing heavy rainfall to the southern part of the country. The Western Ghats are highlands actually, and they also do the same thing. As the rain-bearing winds strike these highlands, it causes heavy rainfall on the southern part of the country, because the Western Ghats, being highlands, act as obstructions to the rain-bearing southwest monsoon winds, and thereby causing heavy rainfall to the southern part of the country. Okay, now see the next point. The alignment of Aravalli range in Rajasthan is parallel to the rain-bearing southwest monsoon winds, and as such they do not offer any obstruction. Moreover, the hills are low in height, thus Rajasthan experiences little to no rainfall. We already know this, that Rajasthan experiences dry climate. But you can see over here a mountain range is present in Rajasthan. The name of the mountain range is Aravalli range. In spite of the presence of Aravalli range, why Rajasthan experiences dry climate? This is because the alignment of Aravalli range is parallel to the direction of the monsoon wind, and for that reason it does not act as an obstruction to the southwest monsoon wind. Moreover, the hills are low in height, thus Rajasthan experiences little to no rainfall. Now let us see what are southwest monsoon winds. Southwest monsoon winds are the moisture-laden winds which blow from Arabian Sea towards India. Let me show you a diagram of southwest monsoon winds. You will be able to understand from where to where the southwest monsoon winds are blowing. Please see the movement of southwest monsoon winds. The southwest monsoon winds blow from Arabian Sea towards India, and it also blows from Bay of Bengal towards India. Now, as these winds blow from sea to land, therefore these winds carry a lot of moisture. The next factor which determines the climate of India is altitude. For every 166 meter ascent, temperature decreases at a rate of 1 degree centigrade. If you climb up a mountain and if you reach a height of 166 meter from the starting point, then you will see that the temperature has decreased, and the rate of decrease is 1 degree centigrade for every 166 meter. Okay, hence the places situated at higher altitude are cooler as compared to places in the plains. So that is why the temperature of the plain areas, or the places which are there in the plain areas, they have higher temperature than those places which are situated at higher altitudes. Western disturbances and tropical cyclones also influence the climate of India. First, let us know what are western disturbances and what are tropical depressions or tropical cyclones. Western disturbance is an extratropical storm which originates in the Mediterranean region that brings sudden winter rain to the northwestern parts of the Indian subcontinent, because this disturbance travels from western to the eastern direction. So, western disturbance is an extratropical storm. Extratropical means it does not occur in the tropics. It occurs between 30 degree and 60 degree latitude, so it is known as extratropical storm. Now this storm originates in the Mediterranean region, okay, and it moves from the Mediterranean region towards the Indian subcontinent. So it moves from the western side towards the eastern direction. Okay, so this storm originates in between the latitude 30 degree and 60 degree, and it moves from the western direction towards the eastern side. Now, this storm brings heavy rainfall in winter season. Okay, so in winter season it brings heavy rainfall to the northwestern parts of the Indian subcontinent. The formation of this type of precipitation is different from that of monsoonal precipitation. So it is a non-monsoonal precipitation pattern driven by the westerlies. The formation of western disturbance will be explained to you with the help of a diagram. As this storm forms between 30 and 60 degree latitude, you can see that here two winds are coming and merging together from opposite direction, one from the polar region and another from subtropical high pressure belt, okay, or subtropical high pressure region. One wind is coming from the polar high region and another wind is coming from the subtropical high pressure region, and both these winds are merging together. Now let me tell you over here that the wind which is coming from the polar region is very cold, okay, and the wind which is coming from subtropical high pressure region is also cold, but it is comparatively warmer, or it is comparatively less cooler than the wind which is coming from the polar region, isn't it? So when two winds of different temperature meet, what happens is that a front is created, and along that front the warmer wind, the relatively warmer wind, rises upward above the cooler wind. This results in cyclogenesis in the upper layer of the atmosphere, and this extratropical depression start moving eastward from the Mediterranean Sea towards the Indian subcontinent. It travels across the Middle East from Iran, Afghanistan and Pakistan to finally enter the Indian subcontinent. Tropical depressions also determine the climate of India. Tropical depressions are low pressure systems that originate at the head of Bay of Bengal during summer, and due to tropical depressions, India receive a lot of rainfall. To understand El Nino effect, please see the above picture. Here you can see the world map is given. Now the Pacific Ocean becomes intensely warm due to the fact that it exists right at the equator. The trade winds which blow from eastern towards the western side carries the warm surface water from the eastern side towards the western side. As the warm surface water reaches the western side, it causes increase in temperature of the air of the countries such as Australia, Indonesia, etc. Now hot air has the tendency to rise upward, so the hot air rises upward and cloud formation occurs, and after cloud formation heavy precipitation occurs over Australia, Indonesia and other countries. Okay, the movement of warm surface water from east towards west results in movement of cold water from west to east. Okay, now this cold water moves as undercurrent. So movement of warm surface water from east to west results in movement of cold water from west to east as underwater current. Okay, this underwater cold current which reaches the East Pacific results in Peruvian current which is found along the Peruvian coast. This phenomena occurs under normal condition. During El Nino years, the trade winds weaken. As the trade winds weaken, they do not carry the warm surface water from east towards the western side. So what happens is that as the trade winds cannot carry those warm surface water from east towards the western side, so the warm current accumulates along the Peruvian coast. So you can see that the cold current has been replaced by warm current under El Nino condition or during El Nino years. Okay. Now this process is reverse of that process that occurs under normal condition. So what will happen? The air temperature of the Peruvian coast as well as the air temperature of South America increases. Now this hot air rises upward and cloud formation occurs, and this results in precipitation over South America. Now as the warm current is found along the coast of South America during El Nino years, so a cold undercurrent will flow from the eastern side towards the western side, and hence the cold current will decrease the temperature of the places such as Australia, Indonesia, etc. And for that reason over there cold weather is experienced. Okay, now how this El Nino affects Indian climate or climate of India, we will see that. So as you know that a high pressure system exists over Madagascar, and over India low pressure condition develops during this time. So what happens is we know that wind always blows from high pressure areas to low pressure areas. So the low pressure system which is created over India draws or attracts the wind, the cold wind of this high pressure area which has been created over Madagascar. Okay, so the winds blows from Madagascar towards the low pressure area of India. Okay, this happens under normal condition. During El Nino years, a low pressure system develops over South America as well. Okay, isn't it? I have already told you that during El Nino years that South America experiences warm climate or warm temperatures, and for that reason low pressure develops over South America. Now you see during El Nino years two low pressures are created, one over India and another one over South America. Now the high pressure area which is having cold wind, this cold wind will be attracted by the low pressure system which is created over India as well as the low pressure system which is created over South America. Now the low pressure system which is created over India is weaker than the low pressure system which is created over South America during El Nino years. Okay, so the cold wind of the high pressure region which is created over Madagascar, which was supposed to go towards the low pressure area of India, now gets divided Okay, one branch moved towards the low pressure area of South America, and one branch moved towards the low pressure area of India. This results in disruption in Indian monsoon, and India does not get the amount of rainfall that it was supposed to get from the moisture bearing winds coming from the Madagascar region. Okay, this is the effect of El Nino over Indian climate. Now I would like to conclude this part of the chapter Climate of India by telling you the meaning of the word monsoon and what the climate of India is known as. Firstly, let me tell you one thing, that the north-south extent of India is very vast. Okay, it extends from 8 degree north to 37 degree north, and it covers a distance of about 3200 kilometer. So from this only you can understand how vast the north-south extent of India is. It covers an area of 3200 kilometers as it extends from 8 degree north to 37 degree north latitude. Now, although unique climate contrasts can be observed from north to south, yet one factor unifies the climate of India, and that is the monsoon. Yes, we have already said that the climate of India varies from place to place. Okay, in fact, the climate of northern part of the country is different from that of the southern part of the country. However, there is one factor which unifies the climate of India, and that is monsoon. Now, what is this monsoon? Monsoon, the word monsoon has been derived from an Arabic word known as mosim, and the meaning of this word is season. Okay, climate of India therefore is called tropical monsoon type of climate. So that's it. That's the end of the first part of the chapter Climate of India. And if you like this video, then do hit the like button, do subscribe to my channel, and also press the bell icon so that you do not miss any of my videos. I will upload the second part of the chapter very soon, so stay tuned for that.